Morning YouTube. Today is Sunday. It's January 7th, 2018. I am still not used to the new year. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm going to do just a little update video and tell you what's coming. I've been working on a step van, hard to heavy. I'm down to one of the last major rust repair type projects on it. Then the rest of it's kind of finish up stuff. So it was important to me this winter to get some of that big heavy duty stuff done while I had the extra time. I just have a lot more time in the winter time, especially around the holidays. I get a few days off and so forth. So it was great to get a lot of those big projects done, and I'm going to wrap up this one project I'm working on today and get that video posted hopefully today. That means I have to wrap it up today. That would be cool. I thought I would just take a minute and talk about my channel just a little bit. This thing started just a little over a year ago. For me, it was just kind of an experiment. I did a little update in September, and in September I had about 200 subscribers and about 50,000 views. Fast forward to today, January, we're almost at 400 subscribers, just a few short, and about 115,000 views. So the thing is progressing, slow but steady. Not necessarily slow, but it's headed in the right direction, so we're just going to keep on moving, doing what we're doing. It's fun for me to do these videos. I share them with friends and family that are, all over the United States kind of thing. That's fun. It's also fun for me to go back and see my progress videos. I don't host them anywhere else, so I don't even keep them. So they're on YouTube for me to go back if I have questions or want to see just how things started. So they're fun for me too. So got a lot of good comments on stuff. I appreciate the comments, good, bad, or otherwise. But comment's a comment, right? Seems I get a fairly decent percentage of comments just on my hair, and that's fun as well. I'll go just a little bit of detail what happens with my hair. So, and then I have some stuff coming up probably later this month or in February that's going to get more in depth into it. But I am a cancer survivor, and I'll go into some detail on another video. But I've donated my hair for a long time till really over the last 5, 6, 7 years or something. And it gets a little bit gray. Sometimes it's hard to actually grow it out, depending on what I'm doing for work. So 2 years ago, November, was the last time I cut my hair off, and I did it for our company was interviewing for a large project, and I did it as a kind of okay, let's just cut my hair off and see if we get the project. We got the project, and I thought I would grow it out until that project is over. And so the project is still going. I'm still on the project, and it's going to go till April, and then it just got extended probably for another year. So not going to grow it that long, but this summer, again in another video, I'll explain that I'm also a chairperson for the Relay for Life, it's American Cancer Society, and we do a local event here I've been involved with for a few years, and we're going to have a hair donation event at our Relay for Life, and that is June 23rd, 2018. And so I will have my hair cut again on June 23rd, 2018, and we're going to try and make it kind of a publicity act as well to gain interest in our Relay for Life. The other thing I wanted to do today is talk to you about the projects that are coming up, what you might be interested in and when those projects might be coming up. Everything has a disclaimer because something could show up on Craigslist tomorrow and I'll go get it, and that's going to be what I want to work on. But here's what I think. I'm going to grab the camera. We're just going to do a little tour of projects that are sitting waiting to have work done on them. But some we're working on and some we don't. As I've said in the past, I work on what I want to work on when I get up in the morning, typically. And part of it is this is my 50s diner theme. This is taken and gone kind of a new direction. I had to plan, always have a plan, right? I started off buying these stools about 2 years ago or something from a friend at his yard sale, and always wanted to make this whole room into a 50s diner, turn that fridge around, paint it up like a Coke machine. My inspiration, I hope there's enough light over here to see it. Yeah, I think so. My inspiration is that clock. You see the bar and the bar stools thing, kind of a soda fountain, 50s diner, jukebox, all that. So my version of that is going to be in this space. I did get the walls painted. That is Rust-Oleum, by the way. Give it a nice shiny deal. I'll move the jukebox around. We'll do some rearranging, but nothing's going to more is going to happen in here this winter, probably be next winter, and we'll dedicate a couple weekends, and then it'll just ride in that condition for a while, and then we'll move on. So let's go look at some other projects. The Goldwing, I need to work on it a little more. I screwed up and missed an O-ring when I put the head on the left side. It leaks oil, so I've got to pull that head and do that. That's a day. And then do some more sorting out on it. It does run real good now. It's just a matter of putting it back together, and then we got to do the maintenance stuff on it. Put tires on it, belts on it, and so forth. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that this year or not, but I do want to get the motor closed up, get it, all the wiring sorted, the things that have been taken apart, put it back together. I was missing a fairing lower and some of the airbox stuff. My brother-in-law had a parts bike, and he brought me down parts, and they're actually better than what was ever on the bike. So I have everything to put this back together. He even brought me a fender because this one's rusty there and dented up there. It doesn't look too hard to change, so we'll do a fender on it. So that one won't get on the road this year or anything, but it'll get a lot closer. The Pinto Moped, I think I've taken it as far as I'm going to take it. I just need to finish covering the seat that I'm working on. I'm going to send that down the road as is. Doesn't work real good for me. It was kind of a fun little project. So it's going down the road if anybody wants a moped. The two Cushmans that are inside, my 55 Truckster, probably not going to do much with it. I would like to fiddle with my Meter Maid 3-wheeler. It does run and drive. It has little brake issues, and I was in the middle of wiring, and that's all the farther I got. And they both become clutter hounds. They're just full of stuff. I just need to take some time and clean them out. Anyway, moving on. The step van project, many of you have watched many of the videos. We're today working on the window. We pulled that glass out yesterday and got all the metal cut out. I need to weld in some new metal so I can get that window put back in, do rubber and so forth. And then probably, if all the rest of the metal around the windows looks okay, which I think it does, we'll probably call that good for now, unless I think one of the other windows is going to fall out. So, because I've spent a lot of time with this thing, it's probably time to move on to something else. It runs and drives, that's good, and I would just fiddle with it from here on out. No major projects. If I have a couple of hours, I haven't got all the plywood screwed down tight. I don't have all the rivets around the back door put in. We'll just do a bunch of finish work on it for now, and we'll see what the time is. Scooby van, nothing's really going to happen with that. The 57 Nash Metropolitan, I'm either going to trade it for a paint job on a Mustang that we have, or I'm going to sell that. I have a 1956 Ford F100. I have every nut, bolt, and screw. I have everything for this truck to put it back together except the glass. And but I really think I'm going to wait till I retire to finish this truck, just because of the time commitment, and you got to get a lot of stuff out and so forth. And the 1936 Ford 10.5, this is our Gypsy Wagon project. Probably once again this winter, I probably won't do anything with this. I would love to spend some time with it, but I just don't think it's in the cards. I just don't have enough time. I just have so many other things to do. So this is for another day. I'll learn you a little more about that. I do have some smaller projects. Let's wander outside real quick. I have a few stored in my car trailer, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking on some of those. Starting to rain. Open the door. So, Lights on. So the John Deere 111, I put a motor in it, and then the transaxle was bad. Of course, the guy never mentioned that, right? So I have a transaxle. I need to do that. So this will be a project coming up, so I have it ready. I'm just going to sell it, and I'll sell it this spring. My 1964 Cushman Scotsman golf cart. Did the engine rebuild on it last winter, and it'd be nice to work on this just a little bit. It still has a fuel delivery issue, and that's what I'd like to resolve, and I think I'm going to put like a vacuum operated fuel pump in this and see if that will resolve that issue. And I have that old 11 horse red, I don't know if it's MTD, some sort of tractor, and I was kind of hoping to do something interesting with it, like put like 33-inch boggers or something on it and weld them to some wheels. Just make something interesting out of it. But I haven't run across the wheels yet, so it's still sitting in here. It runs not very good, but it runs. Next weekend, I need to work on my green 1976 Ford F-250. It's a camper special. This I bought almost 2 years ago from an estate that we were following. And it had 38,863 original miles on it. But you know, it had been sitting so long, the brakes were locked up and fuel lines were plugged and stuff like that. It took a lot of work to get it running, and I've been working on it kind of ever since. But it's starting to be a real decent truck, and I am taking this in about 2 weeks to be painted. So next weekend, I have to do a few things to this truck to get it ready to be painted. I thought I would clean up the rear bumper and paint it. It has mud flaps that are bolted to the body and with 4 rusty bolts. So before it's painted, I need to get those off of there. Get them off the body. There's just a few things to clean up around the bed. This thing is just super clean. There's some bolts that bolted an old canopy that was on it. I got to get those off of there. Pull the mirrors and start to rebuild them. Not really rebuild them, but it's just got a bunch of steel nuts on stainless steel mirrors, and the hardware's all rusting. So I need to get all that. Pull the mirrors off and let's replace all that rusty stuff, clean them up, so they go on a nice painted truck. I'm not sure if those camper special emblems are available, but I'll look them up, and if they are, I'll get new ones coming. Take that antenna off of there. I have another hood for this. This hood's actually got some rust issues underneath. It was probably due to a chemical, because there's no rust on this truck. I've had new dual exhaust and stuff put on it. And then when that's done, I have... This interior was nearly pristine when I got it, and original. But it's got a floor mat. I don't really like floor mats. They also trap a lot of moisture underneath, so I'm going to go to carpet. And then as I started driving this thing, it was so old and just kind of crispy that the upholstery's kind of coming apart. So I have new upholstery and new carpet for it. We'll get it cleaned up and call this one done. Nice truck. It is a 460 factory 4-barrel. The camper tie downs on it are from Ford. I have the build sheet. Dual tanks, of course automatic, the 2 piston front disc brakes. This has a draw out rear bumper on it for hauling large camper and stuff on it. I had the AC all redone. Nice truck. Nice truck. Okay, the other questions I'm getting to is, when am I going to get back on the boat? I have a 79 Chris Craft. It's called a Catalina Cruiser. It's a hardtop model. I bought this boat and had it drug in here, and supposedly has 1 hour on a rebuild engine. It's never actually been completely installed. It's not hooked up to the prop shaft. A lot of things just aren't connected, and the heat exchanger has some issues. So it's just something that needs to have 2 people to work on, because the engine room's down under the floor, and you kind of got to crawl in there and getting tools and stuff like that, it's just crazy. So I need to have someone or my wife come out and help me to work on it, and she's not coming out in this kind of weather. So that's going to be a springtime deal. I have a carburetor ready to go on it. I've never even heard it fire. I did crank the engine over and it turns over. So it's just kind of in a holding pattern for now. It's always been on my list to repaint the Caveman camper. That goes on the green truck. Our bigger camper is actually at home right now in the driveway. And I want to paint that, repaint the white, take all those decals off. I have the new Caveman decals reproduced, and then those little stripes on the there, and then down the side, there on the top, and down there on the bottom will be the same color green as the truck. So I'd love to paint that, but I don't know if I'll have that on my list to do in 2018 or not. So that's it. So that's my update. Sorry it went a little long, but I wanted to give you guys a clue what to expect coming up. That's kind of what I think is going to happen, but like I always say, I work on what I want to work on when I get up in the morning. This morning I want to work on the step van. Next weekend we're going to work on the green truck, but something could show up on Craigslist and change everything. So thank you guys for supporting my channel, for watching, commenting. I love the comments. Share my channel if you would. It just kind of helps the thing grow just a little bit. And you guys take care, and we'll catch you on the next one.